first day as a member of the 501st. It was hot, it was sandy, chaotic. Nothing at all like the simulations on Kamino. Of course, that's pretty much the way it was for all of us, wasn't it? All that breeding, all those years of training, it doesn't really prepare you for all the screaming or the blood, does it? Frankly, I'm still amazed we ever made it through the first hour. Never mind the first day.
Your simulation days are over, Trooper. This is a real battle. And if you mess up, you'll really end up in a world of pain. Now get out there. Some activity has been reported in the vicinity of Checkpoint Alpha. Get there and secure the area. Droid scouts have been detected in the area. Take them out before they can report our position. Nice work, Clone. Let's hope those scouts didn't get word back to their army. Now, finish off that damaged Hellfire droid using your thermal detonators. Good job, but the droid army is headed this way. Capture the downed Techno-Union ship to secure a stronger foothold for our troops. Our troops need health and ammo. Go to the downed Techno-Union ship and switch to the engineer class at the command post there. Good. Now use your fusion cutter to repair the health and ammo droid.
Friendly fire! Battle droid! I'm on!
Nice work, Trooper. CIS have sent in a column of spider walkers. Get to the ATTE clone and make it fast. Now take one of those walkers down before they do some serious damage. Geonosis got killed and dropped a holocron on top of the Techno-Union ship. Use a command post to switch to the Jet Trooper class. Now use your jump jets to get up there and acquire that holocron and bring it back to Checkpoint Alpha. Who knows what secrets it might hold. CIS are holed up in the cliff bunker. Get up there and take over that post. It will give us a strong vantage point on the battlefield. We need some snipers to pick off some droids and help thin out the CIS forces. Grab a sniper rifle and take out some droids. Tearing us to ribbons. Get to a CP and switch to the heavy trooper class. Now take your rocket launcher and give one of those spiders a taste of some heavy fire. Master Windu has arrived on the battlefield. A lightsaber will come in handy against these droids. Let's knock down the CIS reinforcements a bit. CIS back. Take over their bunker to the north. Good job. May the Force be with you.
Incredibly, the 501st survived the crucible of Geonosis, emerging battle-hardened and ready for whatever the war would throw at us. In the waning months of the Clone Wars, the 501st faced missions critical to the agenda of Chancellor Palpatine. When we arrived at the bombed-out ruins of Mygeeto, our Jedi commander believed we had been sent to take out a droid energy collector. What Ki-Adi-Mundi didn't know, however, was that our unit of the 501st was really after an experimental Mygeeto power source that the Chancellor wanted for his super laser. Keeping Mundi in the dark wasn't easy. The Jedi had become increasingly wary of the Chancellor's doings, and were on the lookout for the slightest hint of treachery. Just like the rest of them, though, we never caught whiff of what was really going on until it was far too late.
All right, men. Today's target is an energy collector on the northern section of the platform. If we can take it down, production facilities in the area will grind to a halt. Let's move them out. The enemy's forward outpost is on the other side of this bridge. We'll have to capture it before moving on.
Take out that battle droid! Take out that super!
Let's turn this place into a scrap pile.
Save it for the enemy! For the Republic! They're coming around! They're coming around! For the Chancellor! Take out that battle droid! Check your fire! The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Hold on, I need to fix that vehicle. Go, go, go! Watch for turns.
Well done, man. Now we need to make some space for General Mundi to land. Take out those turrets and clear the deck.
Send in the supers! We got AATs coming.
One more to go.
Destroy that turret.
Listen up, man. Before we can begin our assault on the energy collector, we have to get past the shield barricade. Get behind the shield and take out the generator. Capture the seat B will serve as an excellent lookout point for our mission.
We've got droids!
Listen up. Before we can begin our assault on the SEP's energy collector, we have to penetrate their shield barricade. So load up and move out.
Save it for the enemy! For the Republic! They're coming around! Turret, take them down!
Take down the core shield by destroying the generator. shields are down. Let's take out the core. Good work. Now collect the core samples and return them to the dropship on the other side of the bridge. Now take the crystals back to the dropship.
Watch those red rockets for the chicken fire! I'm on them!
Sir, I can see the dropship.
We got AATs coming. They're flanking us!
Nicely done, gentlemen. Your work here today has made the Chancellor a very happy man.
The success of the mission on Mygeeto was something of a revelation for the men of the 501st. Suddenly, we realized that the Jedi could be fooled. And if they could be fooled, they could be killed. As the Clone Wars progressed, more and more ground-based legions found themselves pressed into space combat, including the fighting forces of the 501st. For months, every hour of our downtime was spent in the simulator, preparing for the time we would face our enemies from the cockpit of a 170. Finally, the day came to earn our win. The CIS had staged a daring kidnapping of Chancellor Palpatine and was being escorted from Coruscant by a fleet of separatist ships. With only a few veteran pilots on planet, many of the 501st were pressed into service to drive off the Seps and buy time for a pair of Jedi Knights to rescue the Chancellor.
All hands to battle stations. Repeat, all hands to battle.
Pilots and Marines, get to your ships. The Jedi are depending on you. Incoming fighters, take them out. flanking clan ship acting as a frigate for the droids. Destroy it. Use rockets or time bombs to destroy the internal systems.
Enemy cars are incoming. Repeat, enemy cars are incoming. Attention, all Resistance pilots on deck.
of the enemy cruiser.
Attention, clear the hangar area. Repeat, clear the hangar area.
You got that far? Droid starfighter right behind you.
Well done, gents. With flying like that, the Republic is well on its way to victory.
After disabling the final capital ship, General Kenobi and Skywalker took advantage of the opportunity we'd created and rescued the Chancellor. Took all the credit, too. It's been said that the 501st got the best of the war. We also got the worst. On Felucia, the Seps dug their metal heels into the muck of that alien hellhole and dared the Republic to come in after that. So we did. Only to be met with the month after month of flesh-eating diseases, shrieking nocturnal predators, and other sights that haunt me to this day. Cut off and for all we knew, abandoned by our superiors. Our only hope was Ayla Secura, our Jedi commander. Without her iron will, none of us would have come out of that mess without sanity or our lives. When her death came, I hope it was quick. She earned that much.
Our forward unit is under attack by some kind of creatures. Get up there and give them some support. This ATTE is out of commission.
Movement to the north!
Here they come. Wipe out these creatures before they rip our unit apart.
That way! Don't provoke it!
2 more to go.
Knock it off!
Nice work. Just 1 more.
Stay clear of the acolyte.
CIS units have been detected moving in this direction. Defend the ATTE until Jedi Master Sakuda arrives.
Take out that super! Watch those red rockets! Good throw! Battle droid, I'm on them!
Ayla Sakuda has landed. A Republic gunship crashed in the brush near here. Acquire its power cell and bring it back to reactivate the ATTE.
Keep going!
Battle droid, I'm on them!
Nice work. The ATTE has been reactivated. The CIS offensive is being mounted from the fungal tree to the south. Advance on their base of operations there and take out their primary defense turrets.
Carry the force with you, always.
Aim it for the enemy!
Nice work. The Separatists' assault on Felucia has been severely crippled. We have them on the run.
When the 501st was finally rotated out of Felucia, Ayla Secura made a point of seeing us off personally, calling us the bravest soldiers she'd ever seen. It's a good thing we were wearing helmets. Of course, none of us could bear to look her in the eye. When the Separatists' invasion of Kashyyyk caught the Republic flat-footed, a detachment of the 501st was sent in to stop the bleeding until reinforcements could arrive. It was a textbook suicide mission and we knew it. As we fought our way into Kashyyyk's atmosphere, most of us believed that the only way we'd be getting off this planet was in a body bag.
Control to pilots. Prep your ships for battle.
The droids have put up a blockade around Kashyyyk. If we're going to punch through, we'll need to weaken their forces. Pilots, focus your attacks on their support ships.
They're trying to land their comms! Take down that TIE fighter! TIE fighter on your tail!
One more.
Attention, all second stage pilots on deck.
Their ship guns are pounding our shields. Take out those heavy turrets. One more. Well done, pilot. Head back to the hangar for your next objective.
All hands to hangar area. All hands to hangar area. Telegraph behind you.
Attention, clear the hangar area. Repeat, clear the hangar area.
Pilot, we need you to take an LAAT into the enemy hangar, land it, and destroy the ship's internal systems.
Contact fire behind you.
Attention, all second stage pilots on deck.
Engage that fire. Attention, all second stage pilots on deck. Don't let that try get away.
Alright, troopers, make your way to their critical systems and destroy their fuel and life support systems.
Attention, all second stage pilots on deck.
mission pilot. Grab the enemy's battle plan holocron and bring it back to our hangar.
Soldier behind you, don't let him get a lock! Battle droid,
Attention, all second stage pilots on deck.
All hands to battle station. Repeat, all hands to battle station.
Well done, man. Now let's get down there and liberate Kashyyyk.
As the 501st finally broke through the Sith blockade over Kashyyyk, I took a long look back at the battle that continued to rage over the planet, and wondered why so many had to die for a bunch of walking planets. Then I followed my orders and turned planetward. When we arrived on Kashyyyk, things were just as bad as we feared. The droids had us outgunned, outmaneuvered, and outmanned by a 5-to-1 margin. What none of us had counted on was the Wookiees. We'd all heard the stories, of course, but we'd never fought next to them, never seen them rip apart a droid with their bare hands. They were magnificent. Even so, it was still a suicide mission. At least it was until Master Yoda arrived. Then it became a battle. A winnable battle.
This is it, men. We have to hold this beachhead until reinforcements arrive. No retreats, no excuses.
We've got spider droids!
behind the seawall. We must protect the Wookiee base. We must defend the oil refinery at all costs. If we don't, this whole place is going to blow.
For the Chancellor!
They've breached the sea wall. Brace yourselves.
Watch those wrist rockets! Knock it off! Watch your flank! For the Chancellor! Snap! Take him out! Battle droid! I'm on them! They're coming around! Check your fire! Battle droid, back up! Take out that super! For the Chancellor! We've got the staff. Friendly fire! Watch your flank! For the Senate! Take out that battle droid! Take cover!
Republic can't spare any more reinforcements.
Battle droid! Come on! What? For the Republic! Battle droid!
Way to hold them back, man. Now let's push forward and send them packing.
Proud I am to stand by Wookiees in their hour of need. Yoda, you son.
Save it for the enemy! Grenade, take cover! For the Chancellor!
Eliminate that bomb.
Kashyyyk lives to fight another day.
With the timely arrival of Master Yoda, the 501st was able to hold the line against the Seps on Kashyyyk. We left as heroes. Years later, we returned as conquerors. In our bones, we knew the war was almost over. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see which side would make the final daring move. As fortune would have it, the Republic moved first. After the Chancellor informed the Jedi Council that General Grievous and the Sith leaders were hiding on Utapau, General Kenobi gathered an army large enough to capture 3 star systems. When the orders reached the 501st, our morale soared. For better or worse, this would be the beginning of the end.
There is a 2-story building just a bit southwest of your position. Assault that command post.
Take out that sniper! Super battle droid!
Capture the CP will serve as an excellent lookout point for our mission.
Take out that battle droid!
There's a CP further down the highway. Clear any enemies on the highway and secure the area. secure Hangar 10, and we'll send in a dropship to back you up. General Obi-Wan has landed on this level. He should be able to help you troopers quite a bit. Stationed in Hangar 10. Take him out before he wipes out our forces.
Please don't surrender.
Although I'm weak.
Well done. There's some AA guns at Hangar 10 that are causing our flyboys quite a bit of trouble. They need you to destroy those guns. Then they're going to land the heavy support units.
Sniper, get down!
Destroy the other gun and Hangar 10 will be ours. Stand by for heavy support unit, soldier. Tanks incoming. Now, soldier, destroy that energy tower.
Hey, get down! Been doing that longer.
We are victorious.
With the death of General Grievous at the hands of General Kenobi, the Utapau raid had broken the back of the Separatists. Under normal circumstances, it would have been a time for celebration. But our next orders put paid to those thoughts. What I remember about the rise of the Empire is how quiet it was. During the waning hours of the Clone Wars, the 501st Legion was discreetly transferred back to Coruscant. It was a silent trip. We all knew what was about to happen, what we were about to do. Did we have any doubts? Any private treacherous thoughts? Perhaps, but no one said a word. Not on the flight to Coruscant, not when Order 66 came down, and not when we merged into the Jedi Temple. Not a word.
Tonight the fall of the Jedi is at hand. We have been directed by the highest authority to wipe out the insurgent Jedi Order that threatens our great empire. Our first objective is to capture the Council Chamber. Lord Vader will be our field commander. Let's keep the Jedi low and move out.
They're all over! Set them up and knock them down! Good shot! Hey, get down! We're taking out! They're coming around!
Attention troops, double time to the library. The Jedi are attempting to destroy the library's holobooks and direct defiance of command. Stop them. Stop the destruction of the Jedi holobooks, and you can keep at least one of the bookcases intact for at least 2 minutes. Command can scan the contents of the library.
They're coming around! Surround the Jedi! That's the way it's done!
They're coming around!
For the Republic!
Your next objectives are a pair of holocrons, rumored to contain the sum of Sith and Jedi knowledge. The first one is located on the comm room. Retrieve it and bring it to the veranda.
This turret needs fixing.
last of the holocrons secured, we can deal with the remainder of the Jedi here. Execute the 3 Jedi Masters who have poisoned the minds of their impressionable students against the Empire. Let them bear witness to the cost of rebellion.
The Force is strong with me.
Well done. Our new Emperor will be pleased. Primary mission objectives complete. The Jedi Temple has been secured.
On the sides!
With the fall of Coruscant and the elimination of the traitorous Jedi, Palpatine's rise to power was complete. In recognition of our service and loyalty to the Emperor, the 501st were placed under the direct command of Lord Vader. Armed with deadly new weapons, blazing new ships, and shiny new armor, our presence let the galaxy know that the days of the Old Republic were well and truly over. We were establishing a new era, an era of order and peace. During the rise of the Empire, the Emperor's home planet of Naboo rapidly established itself as a major irritant. After a number of Naboo's ambassadors were sent home in various states of dismemberment, her newly elected queen broke off diplomatic ties and began exploring military options. Clearly, it was time for a regime change. A change that would be effected by the 501st, now under the direct command of Darth Vader. Our orders were simple: to infiltrate the city, take out their leader, sending a clear signal to other potential troublemakers in the Empire.
Welcome to the capital city of Theed. Tonight, we will be performing a radical destabilization of the Theed government by the elimination of their queen. She is heavily guarded in the central plaza by a group of Jedi and an auto turret grid. In order to defeat these defenses, we must set up a perimeter around the central plaza and shut down the auto turret grid. Careful, soldier. Your numbers are few and the mission success rests on your shoulders.
Watch your flank.
They're coming around!
For the Empire! Watch where you're shooting!
Now it's on to the Embassy Plaza. Move out.
Watch your flank. Hey, get down!
Watch out, soldier. The auto turret grid is still online. Keep you and your men out of the central plaza until we can find a way to shut down the turret grid. So far, so good. Now capture the guard post past the embassy. If he needs an extra firepower, we've managed to sneak a tank for you at the embassy command post. Use it wisely. Now we must destroy the auto-turret grid console, clearing access to the central plaza. Destroy it, and the Queen will be ours. The Queen's personal Jedi bodyguards are broken from the palace. Destroy them. her royal guard are trying to escape. Quickly, you must eliminate the Queen at all costs. You have performed a great service for the Empire. The Queen's death serves as an example to other nation rebellions, saving countless lives.
With the Queen eliminated, Naboo quickly fell in line. It was the first time the 501st was called upon to adjust a planet's government. But it wouldn't be the last. Within months, the 501st gained a well-deserved reputation as Vader's fist. Although the Clone Wars were over, some people never seemed to get the message. The worst case of denial was Gizo Delso, a Geonosian separatist who'd somehow escaped Lord Vader's efforts to wipe out the remnants of the CIS. Lord Vader tracked him to Mustafar and brought us in to finish the job. It seemed like a simple enough mission. When we saw the fleet of droid ships hovering over the planet, we suddenly realized that Delso's denial mechanisms were a little more dangerous than we'd imagined.
Sir, the droids have landed on our ship. We can't launch our fighters.
Calm down, pilot. Get out there and destroy that transport. Use any means necessary to clear the hangar.
Friendly fire.
Turn off the circuit! Watch where you're shooting! You like that? Down! Down!
Scramble reinforcement. Scramble all reinforcement. Scramble reinforcement.
All right, men. Now get into your fighters and give those droids all you've got. Destroy their fighters and bombers. Watch out for the asteroids, pilots. They're easy to destroy, but that doesn't mean they aren't dangerous.
Passengers, now!
Attention all pilots. Attention all pilots. Prepare for takeoff.
Well done, Lieutenant. Take that fighter down. On deck.
Objective away. Start to make the rest of us look bad. Take out that bomber! Start to make the rest of us look bad. Take down that fighter! Take down that fighter!
We are under attack. This is not a drill.
Engaging pursuit fighters. Target that bomber.
Fire on flight deck. Armed.
Target that bomber. Take that bomber down. Start to make the rest of us look bad. You picked up a fighter.
Attack their shields. Use a bomber to deliver the maximum damage.
Take down that fighter.
Scramble reinforcements. Repeat. Scramble all reinforcements.
You've got a bomber on your tail. Take that bomber down. Take that bomber down.
Lord Vader just issued a new order. He wants someone to land in the enemy's hangar, steal one of their strike bombers, and return it to our hangar. Get moving, pilots.
Start to make the rest of us look bad. Enemy bombers are incoming, please. Enemy bombers are incoming. Well done, Lieutenant. Attention, enemy bombers.
Attention. All second stage pilots. On deck.
Excellent job, pilots. Lord Vader will be most pleased.
The slight whiff of nostalgia the 501st had enjoyed fighting the droid fleet over Mustafar had already grown sour by the time we'd established orbital positions. Now it was time to find out what this was all about. time we'd made our way to the molten surface of Mustafar, it was apparent that Delso had been a busy little bum. All by his lonesome, he'd found a previously hidden droid factory, fired it up and cranked out his own private army of battle droids. Needless to say, this got the men of the 501st a little hot under the helmet, and not just because of all that lava. Truth be told, we'd all had our fill of those gearheads during the war, and we couldn't stomach the thought of going through another one. So we blew them up. Blew up the droids, blew up the factory. Damn near blew up the planet.
All right, troops. Today we stamp out final remnant of the CIS. Eventually we'll be blowing up a hidden droid factory. But for now, we need to infiltrate and secure that nearby mining facility. Move them out. Take control of the lava observation.
Watch your flank. Check your fire. Get the droid. For the Empire.
Tear out their circuits.
We need more troopers like you. Keep coming around.
control of the walkway.
Watch out for snipers!
Keep moving.
Sniper spotted at 2 o'clock.
That collection base looks like a good place to make a stand. Capture it!
Watch that turret! Great killing!
Any droid we don't destroy today will come back to haunt us tomorrow. Wipe them out. These Geonosians have been working on a new Confederate infantry prototype. Destroy the schematics before they can use them to build a new droid army. Bringing the other beacon. Go out and retrieve it. Get that beacon to the central antenna. Fall back to the collection base and watch the fireworks.
Get the droid! Super battle droid, take him down! Good shot! It's raining fun!
Kill them all! Delso has been defeated. Scratch one droid rebelling.
Super battle droid, take him down! For the Empire! Tear out their circuit! There's too many of them! Watch your flanks!
The destruction of the mining facility put an end to any thoughts of a second droid rebellion. For the first time in years, the man of the 501st could relax and get about the business of maintaining an empire rather than building one. Officially, there never was a clone rebellion on Kamino. Unofficially, approximately 20 years after we were created, a special detachment of the Imperial 501st Legion was dispatched to Kamino with orders to eradicate an army of clones that had been bred to take arms against the Empire. Our mission commander, an expert on the inner workings of Kamino, was a young bounty hunter named Boba Fett.
Boba Fett has been chosen to lead a small task force into the Kamino cloning center. His familiarity with the center's layout and access codes should give us the element of surprise. To collect some DNA samples from our evil brothers.
Is that all you've got?
Somebody take out this turret!
Back to ship immediately.
Nice finish, trooper. Watch your flanks. You like that? Watch your flanks.
DNA sample secure, pulling ship back to a safe distance. Good job. Now take that CP and await further orders.
Watch those blasters! Snipers! Snipers! They're coming around! Target that clone! Somebody take out this turret!
You know your objectives. Destroy the computers keeping the Kaminoans' clone pods alive before they can create any more traitorous anti-troopers.
Watch your flanks! Take cover!
Is that all you've got? I'm done. When do I get paid? All of it on the job.
Get that trooper! They're flanking us! Take down the traitors! Check your fire! Stormtroopers, take them down! Check your fire! Go! Objective complete. Clone pod life support down. They won't be cloning another army anytime soon.
The Kaminoans are evacuating in 5 minutes. Take down their transports before they can escape.
This job's finished. I'm out of here.
bounty hunter left after the battle was over. He said something about tracking down a smuggler on Tatooine. After the Kamino uprising, the Emperor decided that an army of genetically identical soldiers was too susceptible to corruption. Future troopers would be cloned from a variety of templates. Though the 501st itself remained pure, the rest of the Imperial Army gradually became more and more diverse. We never really got used to the new guys. Once it was finally finished, the Death Star was the Emperor's favorite toy. It was also the most boring assignment in the galaxy for a stormtrooper. Tedious inspection drills, endless hours of guarding impregnable force field generators. Things got so bad that when a prison break erupted in the cell block, we were almost happy to have someone shooting at us again. If only we'd known what an embarrassing snipe storm we were about to wade into. We probably would have jettisoned the whole detention block into space.
Attention Hangar 84G. There is a prison riot in progress. A contingent of the 501st is inbound from an exterior inspection. Join up with the squad mates in the hangar and quell this riot. Rebel forces are converging on Hangar 84G. We cannot allow any of them to escape. Defend the hangar.
I want those rebels dead! Take out the Wookiee!
cell block 2180. Get up there and secure that cell block.
Good shot! Go! Get the Wookiee!
On the side!
One of the rebels managed to get his hands on the plans for this battle station. We cannot allow those plans to leave this outpost. Dispatch the rebel carrying the plans and return them to our forces. Well done. The plans have been secured. The prisoners have captured the fire control room. You must not allow them to damage the main cannon.
There you go. Take out that rebel scum. They're trying to flank us. Stormtrooper!
Infiltrated Hangar 85G and are preparing to escape in one of the shuttles. Get to the hangar and take out that shuttle before it takes off.
Grenade, get out! Get the rebels! Stormtrooper!
Stay down!
escaped the Death Star. Troopers, there is a Jedi in the TIE hangar. He is the source of this rebellion. Destroy this man. Now. Been destroyed. Our reinforcements can take it from here. The uprising has been crushed. Well done, Trooper. Lord Vader will be most pleased with your performance.
Watch the scum!
After the embarrassment of the prison break, Lord Vader removed us from our comfortable belay and began dragging the 501st across the galaxy in a dangerous hunt for the now missing Death Star plans. Ironically, our punishment eventually proved to be our salvation. The poor souls who took our place in the detention area were completely wiped out when the Death Star was destroyed. By the time of the raid on Polis Massa, the men of the 501st were starting to get a little sick of this so-called rebellion. In the past, we'd secretly enjoyed putting down a local insurrection or two. They kept the troops sharp and the Empire feared. But these rebels were different. They were organized, they were growing, and they were everywhere. The raid on Polis Massa was a perfect example of how things were starting to fall apart. We were supposed to go in, wipe out a small band of rebels, and recover some stolen Imperial plans on an encrypted holodisk. Before we knew it, we were nearly overrun by rebel forces, with the holodisk nowhere to be found.
All right, men, Lord Vader wants this raid done by the book. Our first objective is the comm center, just beyond this hangar.
Get the rebel! Imperial officer, take him out! They're all over!
Incoming!
Stormtrooper!
Check your fire!
I want those rebels dead.
Nicely executed, troops. Now it's time to make our way to the base command building on the far side of the facility. If our intelligence is right, along the way we'll find a rebel holodisc containing some very important plans.
Go! Get the look!
Take out the officer! Take out the officer! Take out the Wookiee!
It'll take time to realign the comm dish and transmit the data from the holodisc. You'll have to hold off the rebels until the transmission is complete. Do not let the comm facility fall into enemy hands.
They're trying to flank us. Keep coming around. Go! Here's the Wookiee!
They're all over!
I know the enemy!
Squash the scum!
I want those rebels dead! Get your bosses! Check your side! Hit the dirt now! Go! Here's the Wookiee!
Wookiee! Squash the scum!
Cut them off! Return fire now! They're trying to flank us!
Watch your fire!
Take out that rebel scum! They're trying to flank us! Take out the Wookiee!
Deep within the caverns of this complex, the rebels have a data bank that holds Imperial encryption codes that can be used to eavesdrop on our ship-to-ship communications. Make your way to the caverns and destroy the data bank.
those rebels dead.
Nice finish, trooper.
Now, get the Wookiees!
Get the rebels.
I've got good news and bad news. The good news is it's time to get off this dreary rock. The bad news is the rebels have taken over the hangars. We'll have to fight our way out.
Good shot.
Even though the Polis Massa raid was only a partial success, we finally had a lead on the whereabouts of the Death Star plans, which suited the 501st just fine. With the information gathered on Polis Massa, Vader concluded that the stolen plans had been given to Princess Leia Organa of Alderaan. We weren't surprised. For all their talk of being a peaceful planet, Alderaan had been thumbing its nose at the Empire for years. After a brief and pointless battle, we boarded the ship, the Tantive IV, over Tatooine, began looking for the plans, and waited for Lord Vader's arrival.
Lord Vader has tracked the stolen Imperial plans to Ambassador Organa. Retrieve the plans and bring the ambassador to Lord Vader. Alive.
Rebels, take him out! Sniper!
Get the rebel!
Roll down!
Take out that sniper!
Guns are off! Grenade!
Stormtrooper! Are you fine?
On the ground!
Don't get up!
Head to the tech room.
This is Lord Vader.
Watch the scum!
We'll need to take out the security mainframes on the bridge before we can gain access to the rest of the ship.
Guns are off! Watch it! Blowing stuff up never gets old. Coming around. Grenade! Get down! Sniper, take cover!
Too many of them! And stay down! It's Vader! Take out their support! Stay dead! Take out the officer!
Your strength is nothing compared to the dark side.
He's blind?
Rebel scum!
We need the ship's access codes to gain entry to the escape pod areas. Make your way to the engine room and retrieve them from the security terminal on the second floor.
Trevor! He's flanking us! Hey, watch it!
Disable the turbine to clear our way to the terminal.
Your strength is nothing compared to the dark side.
Take the access code to the tech room terminal.
Feel the power of the dark side.
They're coming around! Take out that Scott.
For the Empire.
Vader!
They're trying to flank us.
Don't get up!
Watch it, sniper. Watch it.
Nice work. Now let's clear those rebels out of the escape pod phase and secure the rest of the ship. Princess Leia must be captured before she can escape.
Feel the power of the dark side.
Take out the...
Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?
The day is ours. Well done, gentlemen.
Watch it.
I am finished, my master.
Watch those blasters! Find another way around. Sniper!
Lord Vader took custody of Princess Leia. We all figured it was just a matter of time before she coughed up the plans. Many of us had been unwilling witnesses to Vader's powers of persuasion in the past. The thought of a pampered little princess resisting his terrible will was inconceivable. When the Death Star was destroyed, about half of the 501st Legion was still in the hangar getting into their ships. Of those who made it out, another third were caught in the explosion. I'd fought with some of those men for over 20 years. Afterwards, those of us that survived hooked up with a nearby Imperial fleet making a retaliatory strike on the rebels' base on Yavin IV. It wasn't the best thought-out plan, but we were cut off from our leaders, tired, and operating on instinct. If not for our training, we probably would have never gotten past their orbital defenses.
the hangar area.
Their heavy transports are trying to go around us. Destroy them before they can jump to hyperspace.
Bomber, on your tail! Take down that fighter! Time for some fancy flying.
The rebels are attempting to send their forces off to wreak havoc in other parts of our galaxy. Destroy them.
Careful, there's a recon bomber on your six. Attack that bomber. Fire on that bomber. Take down that fighter. Time for some fancy flying. Target that bomber.
Their frigates are harassing our fighters. Show them no mercy.
Radar non-operational. Switching to manual. Careful, there's a recon bomber on your six. You picked up a bomber. Aft engine overheating. Recon bomber behind you. Sir, the rebel ship is powering up their hyperdrive system. If they jump now, they'll...
Pilots, if they are allowed to make the jump to hyperspace, they'll rip right through us. Clear their fighters out and be quick about it. We haven't any time to spare.
That was fine. Roger that.
Attention, all second stage pilots, on deck.
Help, get the bomber! Leave the bomber, Nate.
Attention all pilots! Attention all pilots! Prepare for takeoff!
Trying to make the rest of us look bad. Take that forward! Take that fire down! Bomber, taking up behind you! On for reinforcements!
Fire on flight deck aft!
You picked up a bomber!
Well done, pilots. We need to clear a path for our frigates to cover you. Use a TIE bomber to destroy their heavy turrets.
Take that bomber!
Now hear this! All hands man your battle stations!
Trying to make the rest of us look bad. Fighters sneaking up on you. You picked up a fighter. Get that scout. Well done, Lieutenant. Target that fighter and take him down. Beginning my attack line. Watching fighter on your tail.
Now get after those engines, men. They can't jump if they haven't any engines.
Target that bomber. Beginning my attack line. Take that fighter down.
Victory is ours, men. Dispatch the 501st to the planet's surface. Yavin IV will fall before the day is done.
Try to make the remnants look bad.
And so the battle over Yavin came to an end. I'm told we destroyed hundreds of rebel ships that day. Even if it had been thousands, it wouldn't have made up for the Death Star. We landed on Yavin, whatever shock we'd felt at the destruction of the Death Star had been replaced by anger. For months we treated the rebellion like a disobedient child, only to be repaid for our tolerance with treachery on an unimaginable scale. Frankly, I don't remember much of the fighting. I guess we won.
Okay, you all know the mission. The rebel base is located in that ancient temple over there. Our first job is to take the rebel command post located in the ruins of that stone fountain just ahead.
Get the rebels!
Rebel, take him out.
Get your side! Watch your flank! Hold your ground! Watch yourself, fighter tank!
Our next objective is to capture the command post under the viaduct. Gather your forces. It'll be a tough slog.
Get your side! Get the rebels! Hey!
Watch those blasters! On the side! the rebel!
Nicely done. Now rush the reflecting pool. It will make a good staging area for the assault of the temple. Start at any second. Defend the reflecting pool with all your might.
Watch your flank. We're taking heavy casualties. Okay.
On the side!
Now it's time to breach the security door on the temple. A unique breaching bomb has been left at the point marked on your map. Retrieve the bomb from its drop-off location and place it near the temple security door. The bomb has a 10-second timer, so you better start running as soon as you set it.
Watch your fire!
Get the rebel! Take out the Wookiee!
Take out that tank!
Reinforcements are nearly exhausted.
They're all over! Watch your fire!
Grenade! There they are. Decapitate the rebel command. Vengeance is ours, men. The spirits of our fallen brothers will sleep soundly tonight.
After the battle, the surviving members of the 501st finally caught their breath. The Empire had taken the rebels' best shot and come up standing. Now, it was our turn to strike. No one ever complained about the cold on Hoth. We never felt it, even though we were blinded by blizzards. We could see the final end of the rebellion in our blaster sights. Was it only a mirage, perhaps? But on that day, on that planet, our blood ran hot with dreams of victory, melting the ice that stood in our way.
There is no tomorrow, men. Today we crush the rebellion once and for all. You know the orders. Destroy the shield generator in preparation for Lord Vader's arrival. Next, focus all efforts on preventing the final transport ship from lifting off. We'll begin by taking over their outlook command post. Move out.
Watch those black
the attack. Protect them at all costs. destroy the final transport before it can escape. Excellent work, Lieutenant. I'll inform Lord Vader.
This is Lord Vader.
Check your fire!
Don't get up!
Cover me! He's coming around.
The rebel shields are deactivated. Moving on to capture the back hangar in preparation for our assault on the rebel transport ship.
Strength is nothing compared to the dark side.
Launch those blasters!
He's coming around.
Take out the ape officer.
Die! Die! Die!
They're all over!
Take out that rebel scum. Check your fire! Watch your flank. Watch that turret.
Large. We almost had that rebel scum. An orbital strike beacon has been placed in the hangar for you. Acquire the beacon and place it under the transport ship. Command will use the coordinates from the beacon to launch a massive attack from above. Failure is not an option. Excellent. Now protect the beacon while we lock in your current position.
Watch those blasters!
It is done, Master.
The rebels fled, the 501st gathered around the burning bunker and let out a cheer that shook the stars. The rebellion was done. The Death Star was being rebuilt bigger than ever. Order had finally returned to the galaxy, in no small part due to the efforts of the fighting men of the 501st.